Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content on the channel as of late, and we're really testing the lighting out today because the sun is beaming outside. Um, just so you guys get an understanding of just the lighting setup, so here's the light at like full power, just so you guys can see. And then I'm gonna bring it back down to where I like it, usually right there. Um, we have different colors too. So there's this. Let me put on. There's this, which that looks kind of nice. There's this, which looks kind of calming, but I think a little too blue for my taste. And then there's this. So you guys let me know, what are your favorite settings? Which ones seem to work the best? For now, we might just temper this video. So we'll keep it like that. We'll see how this goes. So for today, I want to discuss a film that kind of spawns into a little bit of a conversation. That film being Anslum, which is the latest from Wem Wenders. I think that's how you say his name. He's the guy who gave us Paris, Texas, which I really, really love. Bless me. Just checking here real quick. Paris, Texas, directed by Wem Wenders. I believe he also recently directed Perfect Days, right? Let me make sure. Yes, he did. He directed Perfect Days most recently, which I actually really wanted to see, but it never came out in the area. So, but he has a documentary out called Anslum, and it is a unique case, we shall say, because it was filmed in 3D, and it was also shot within a 6K resolution. So the way the film is utilized, the way it's being presented, we're actually going to change the lighting because this looks pretty. There we go. There we go. That seems a lot better. The blues actually seem a lot better. So there you go. There you go. Anyways, speaking more to actually aesthetics, the idea behind Enslam is that the 3D format is meant to be informative of the artist that is the subject of the piece, named Anselm Keffer, who is a German painter. Yeah, a German painter and sculptor. So it's meant to kind of represent his aura, his psychosis, his just mind space in or I guess representing the aesthetics of his art. So it's blending that sort of idea between film and painting to present a potentially abstract sort of idea, sort of approach. I have not seen the film, so I can't say. But I heard about this film. I was curious about it mainly for just that quality, just for some of the immersive quality that's being brought up. But then it really dawned on me about the idea of 3D, really this idea of 3D, and it really just put in perspective. I'm trying to see what lighting. Yeah, we'll keep that. It really, the 3D thing really spoke to me again, because I'm not a guy for 3D. I've never been big on 3D. I never have gotten why 3D is a thing. I mean, it's there for a gimmick. It's there to just find excuses to bring people to the theater. But artistry-wise, I've never understood why you would bring 3D. Because the whole purpose of 3D, for me, and this is the reason why I didn't see Anselm, why I just chose to jump out of Anselm. I was initially going to see it, but then, as I said, it kind of dawned on me. I was like, oh yeah, it's in 3D, I thought initially when I was gonna go see it that it had uh, a 3D option, but I didn't know that it was produced in 3D. So, knowing that information is what kind of killed my interest in seeing the film. Because the purpose of 3D, the purpose of like utilizing this technology is to disguise the hollowness of a story and to produce a layer of distraction in the form of mindless entertainment. It's literally just there for just padding, just for something to put in front of you so that you're not so focused on the narrative itself, the actual craftsmanship that's there. It's like, oh look, it's in your face. Isn't that fucking cool? You know, like this whole thing, just doing this, that's literally what 3D does is just do this. And like, it's to distract you from what's happening over here. So when it's this that's doing this throughout the whole runtime at certain moments, you know, and um, like it never is there for, um, it never actually, uh, it never is used. It can never be used right. Thus, it never works. Like it can never work for film because that's the only purpose for 3D to exist, is to be a distraction. Um, and in the case of Enslem, like I could already see people like kind of discussing it, saying like it's such an immersive, mesmerizing experience. It's so rich, so deep, so moving. Um, and for me, like I don't excuse the film because it's about a painter and it's trying to use 3D to like reflect those sensibilities. My argument would be this, like if your film really had meaning, then why is the standard format not enough? Why is it that we have to leap to a different format, 3D or 4D or 6K resolution, with changing the frame rate, all this sort of stuff? Why is this so important, you know, when technical features are the dominant factor of your movie? Why is it that? The answer is that it doesn't have much to say. It is a very hollow thing, and the technology is just there just to find excuses, to find some ground for entertainment, for value, just value in general. Because the artistry that is being built seems lost on me when your requirement to immersion is an enhancement. For example, like Gemini Man. You remember Gemini Man? Like that shit was fucking, the frame rate was like dialed up to something crazy. I forget. I think it might have been a 6K resolution. I think that's what the issue was. Gemini Man was, um, and it made it very sharp, and that actually made it a little distracting because of how sharp things moved, and everything actually looked fake as a result. Um, or most notably, Avatar. Avatar is all about the 3D. Specifically, the second one. I think the first one, which is offered a 3D format, but the second one was actually filmed in 3D. Um, it's like there's no reason for it. The visual should be enough. I shouldn't have to, care if the whale is like coming through my face. It's like I don't think that that's needed. Like and it feels like in those movies, Gemini Man and Avatar, it feels like the proper way of watching those movies is with an enhancement, not necessarily what's just literally on screen. The best non 3D movie you could ever see, in my opinion, is Happy Feet. Um, George Miller's film. Um, Not the second one. The second one, but from what I've seen, yeah, just didn't look that good. And that was actually 3D proper. With this, it's subtle, and it's apparent it wanted to be 3D. If you look do your research, they actually wanted it to be. They actually were building it as with the idea of a 3D, but because the budget was getting so out of hand and getting bigger and bigger, they could no longer afford to do that 3D format. So, and as it stands on its own, because there's no 3D there. I mean, there's the idea of 3D, but there's no actual 3D implemented into that film. On its own, it works because the subtle nature of it, the subtle ideas that are there in the background, that are kind of padded throughout the film, they they work because it's an idea within um, the editing. It's more or less to do with the craftsmanship at that point, and not at all with the technology. It's because it's one thing to have 3D built into the film. It's another when it's just the thought of a movie. And in the case of Happy Feet, at that point it's no longer the mechanism, but it's more or less the editing, hence the craftsmanship. So, which is why I would argue the Happy Feet is probably the best non 3D movie ever made, because it literally doesn't have 3D in it, but it has that thought of it, and it's just there, like it's there in subtle ways. It's not there where it's just like, At one point there was like that chase sequence, or that when they were like flying down that hilltop. Yeah, you can tell, but like like you know it's that's more or less just editing stuff. That's not you know 3D actually being implemented. So that's just the distinction I wanted to make with that, is that Gemini Man and Avatar, those had technical features implemented into them already. With Happy Feet, it was just an idea, and it was presented through the craftsmanship. So your focus on Happy Feet is still purely on the craftsmanship from George Miller. With Gemini Man and Avatar, it is more about the technical features that are being flirted and being exaggerated. So that's the distinction I wanted to make. So that's why I say Happy Feet works, because it is all to do with the editing, not with the technology. So, because why can't I just watch what you shot without the technology taking such priority? Like, to me, it's no different from athletes using creatine or using steroids in their workout routines. And I've actually met someone who used steroids in their workout routine. Like, my whole thing is this: something that enhances you doesn't reflect the strength of said thing on its own. Go without the creatine for a little bit and see how you actually stack up. You'll see that you'll always fall short, because you have relied so much on such an enhancement, and you've duped yourself into believing that, oh, that's just what I am. It's not. That's the drug. That's the stimulus. That's all that is. Do it strictly on your own, like cold turkey, like just working with your own body, and you'll see that you'll fall short. Work on improvement from there without the need for an enhancement. And I would say the same thing for film. Most films that are good usually work because of the craftsmanship there and it taking priority, not the technical features. You can still have, like, if you want to play around with the resolution and stuff like that, I mean, that's your choice, I guess, but usually the case is that stuff takes priority, and it's like the only thing that I can focus on when watching the movie, and it's a distraction. Like, it's just a distraction at that point, because I don't see how, in any respect, you can use 3D without it being a distraction. I just don't see how that's possible, or how you can operate on a 6K resolution or one of those crazy frame rates. It's like, I just don't see how you can make it look like as natural as possible, where my eye is not immediately going, okay, that seems strange, that seems too sharp, why is that in my face? It's like, I would like I never understood why people some filmmakers opt out from the standard format and choose to do something more you know, like, because it's just an excuse to express technical quality and not narrative quality. It's to say to your audience that we don't really have much to say, but hey, the 3D is fucking cool, like isn't it cool to see I don't know, the Avatar, the fucking whales? Like, isn't that great to see that shit in your face? Like, you know, like, or in the case of Anselm, where it thinks it's trying to be expressive, but it's like, it's not. I mean, who gives a fuck if the paintings are in front of your face? Who gives a fuck if you can, move in a certain light? It's like this isn't a VR thing. Which that's another thing too about the VR gimmick, because that's also a thing that's being implemented into films. Strictly again, more about the technical feature than the narrative feature. I'm not gonna give a fuck about the story. I'm gonna care more about the fact that I'm wearing a giant headset and I'm walking around in this certain sphere. It's like that's what I'm gonna care more about. Like that's the whole thing about all these things, is that none of these things bring me back to the meat of the story, the meat of the production, the actual fundamentals of the production. I'm just sitting in this technological sphere. I'm just thinking about 3D, the resolution, the VR. Like, that's all I'm caring about at the end of the day. And that's what you are caring about at the end of the day as well. If you go see Anselm, the only thing you're going to care about is the 3D. And that's why I opted to not watch the movie, because I wanted to see the movie just for the movie. I don't want to. I don't want an enhancement. I shouldn't need an enhancement to watch your movie. The definition of enhancement tells you everything you need to know about the movie. The fact that something like this has to be in there tells you of the quality of the story, which is pretty, at best, surface level. You know, like that's I can't find any other way of defining it, it is exactly as it is. It's an enhancement. It's a distraction. It's a mindless form of entertainment. Um, like that's all it is. Like this. This is all you will get with 3D, 6K, and whatever the fucking thing was, the frame rate thing. That's it. That's all you're ever gonna get. And less so of this and more so of this, and then you'll see actually the quality of what you're watching. So I mean, does anyone really care about 3D anymore? I mean, 3D, Avatar was like the caveat, it seems, but it's like, does anyone really give a fuck about 3D? I'm pretty sure, did any of you guys even go see Avatar 2 in 3D? I'm pretty sure a lot of you didn't. So, and I wonder why. So, um, but, um, but, uh, but yeah, so kind of got a little ranty, but it's like, you know, like, there's no purpose for it. Like, there's really, like, literally no reason for it to exist outside of just revenue that could be made, extra money. Like, that's really it. And that's all it will be because of just what the technology is for. So yeah. So I'm gonna head out now because I got someone texting me up the wazoo right now. But yeah. So those are my thoughts on 3D. I just don't get it. But you guys know your thoughts on 3D in the comment section below. Is there a purpose to it? Do you guys see, just in general, of like with 4K, 6K resolution, with frame rate, with 3D itself? This is stuff to me that is more suited for theme park rides. It plays more into what Martin Scorsese was saying a while ago about movie theaters being like theme parks and people wanting a roller coaster experience. This is like pretty much that, so because they got that shit at theme parks, like the 4K rides and stuff like that, the 3D rides. So he's not wrong in saying that, but you guys will know your thoughts in the comment section below, and your thoughts about the lighting as well. I'm sorry if the lighting kind of got a little wacky just because the sun keeps going up and down. So, but you guys let me know if you guys like this new lighting, and all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.